Local KINE GRINDZ.
Local KINE GRINDZ.
Local KINE GRINDZ.
Local KINE GRINDZ.
We brought a 17 girl. It's good fun time.
Good fun time.
Local KINE GRINDZ.
Local KINE GRINDZ.
Local KINE GRINDZ.
Local KINE GRINDZ.
No need cook dinner. We bring in a winner. Local KINE GRINDZ.
Local people, local time, local fun, local KINE GRINDZ, local people, on local time, having local fun, local KINE GRINDZ.
Aloha, I'm Brother Sam,
I'm Lena Girl.
and welcome to Vocal KINE GRINDZ. Yeah. This past Friday, we had an awesome local KINE GRINDZ. We featured Uncle IVA KINIMAKA and his awesome place, Iva's Place. It's no longer there, and Uncle is no longer with us, but he was a good friend, and we just want to send out tons and tons of love to the KINIMAKA family. Oh yeah.
You know, but Sam, it was really nice to see that episode. I mean, I know the store is no longer there, and I know Uncle I is no longer with us. But I think when it comes to our Hawaii music makers, they leave a lasting legacy, don't they?
Yes, very much
They leave
so.
a lasting legacy in their
Very
music.
much so.
And how lucky we are that you got a chance to jam with him on camera.
Yeah. I got to jam with him a lot of times, but that one was really special because it was just me and him, just kanikapila, you know?
Yeah, that was super, super awesome. So thank you so much for digging that one out of the archives. You had to
Yeah.
blow the dust off of the beta
Take off
tape or
the
something.
dust.
Blow the dust off of the VHS. And
Dust particles floating in the air.
right.
So sassy.
But thank you so much for finding that one for us.
Why don't we kick to that episode in case you guys missed it?
Yeah.
And we'll show that episode and then we'll come back and we got another surprise for you guys.
And you know, while you're watching Uncle Iva's Place, while you're watching this episode, again, remember this restaurant is no longer here, but kind of think to yourselves, who makes grinds just like that? Or is there someone in your family, you know, maybe mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, some of one Uncle Puna that has that same style and that same aloha for good food, good company, good music. And if you do, make sure to share their names in the comments on this video, because we would love to know your stories as well. But for right now, let's take a look at Uncle Iva's.
So everybody asks us, you guys are on Local KINE GRINDZ. Where can you get great Hawaiian food? Well, we're in the heart of Kalihi, and we're going to show you a place called Iva's Place. And check this name, Hawaiian GRINDZ. You know, Local KINE GRINDZ, Hawaiian GRINDZ. Well, you can't get any better than that. So we're going to go inside, check out what kind of great food they have there. And, hey, Brother Simon beat me already. I got to get in there. Well, thanks for inviting me in.
Hey, Slowpoke, take your time. I told you, I was in the mood for food.
I
But
know.
funny you should come here.
On Iva's Place.
Ah.
You know, I grew up listening to Uncle Iva's music.
You did?
Yeah.
Me
But
too.
then, like, I think it was in 1983, he decided to go into the catering business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He just opened up this place 3 months ago, you know.
3 months.
Yeah. So let's see what kind of food they got over here at the menu.
Shoots. You know what?
Ooh, this kamehameha luau too sounds good.
We should ask him about it, huh?
So you think that we're gonna get a chance to talk to Uncle
We're
Iva?
gonna talk to him right now.
Oh.
In fact, here, I'll go call him, and maybe I'll ask him if he like play music with us.
Good, because I brought the instruments.
Shoots.
Yee-hee.
Let's go, Uncle. I never know what this place until all the sheriffs went brag to me. They said they know what awesome place for grind, and I came over here on grind, and the grinds was so winners. You had mentioned that you're creating a new type of laulau.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I make turkey tail lao lao. I have ham hock lao lao.
You get extra for me.
Of course we got extra for her and butter over there, and the two aunties over there just came in, just walked in, and we're make iron now.
You have your special, your Hawaiian plate special.
Yeah.
What's on the plate? What's on the plate?
The Hawaiian special have kalu pig, squilo, chicken long rice, lomi salmon, poi, rice, hopi, and sweet potato.
And all of that for $6.95. $6.95. How can you go wrong? How can you go wrong with that?
Oh, plus, if you sit down, you get a glass of water.
And some awesome service too, and pretty waitresses. Uncle, now I found this place easy because they told me it was so easy for find. Was right behind Diner's restaurant.
Adjacent to the Diners Drive-In. And for those that don't know where Diners Drive-In in Kalihi, it's in Kalihi, okay? But it's on 1333 North King Street is Kalihi Diners, and then 1311 is Iva's Place.
Solid. Everything sounds good. You know, it's about time maybe we play some music, then we go grind.
Okay, I gotta go to Magita.
Shoots.
Open kitchen. We get the customers right in front of me. We do all the cooking right here, and we serve the people right from this counter right here, and all the people over there. You see about the salmon over there. And then I have a refrigerator. I get everything right there. I get the salt meat, pipi kaula, butter fish, striped stew, luau stew, ham hock stew, na'au stew, chopstick, all the different kinds of raw fish. I have aku bone, aku belly, lomi, aku or ahi for the lomi, and ahi steak. And then we have a lot of limoko, the green onions, cabbage, watercress for all the garnishes and stuff like kalupi, cabbage. I have everything. It's all set. And a lot of the things are all portioned out. So I have a salmon with chopstick chicken. So I get the chicken all chopped up already. Oh, running out. That's okay. This is more than one order, but it's for Sam, so I'm gonna make plenty. Okay. I go throw the chicken power ready. So I can put the chicken in the frying pan. I get my assistant over here, Kimo. He gonna help me out here during lunchtime. Get my chicken going. Start them off first. And then I get my this is my special seasoning. I call it KINE. KINE. Special seasoning. It's a secret, but you get pretty much the standard seasoning. Salt, pepper, granulated garlic, all that kind of goody stuff. Kind of special herbs. But I make my own seasoning and put a little bit inumona. I will give my inumona. The lomi, the sila lomi, I'm gonna make that the special lomi. It's called the raw deal. Sam Kapu gave me that one. I'm gonna make them right now. Okay. Here I get I'll throw some lomi salmon inside. Some green onion. Some more green onion. This is a lot of aku. Some of that inside. Put some more pihi inside too, butter. Okay. A little bit of pihi. Woohoo! And this is the winner here. You see, I get limu kohu. So some limu kohu inside. And this is some more inumona with pa'akai with the Hawaiian salt. And I'm going to add just the inumona itself. Inumona. Okay, waitress, order up. See, I'm the cook, and now on this side, I'm the waitress. Then later on, when the party eats, I'm gonna be the bus boy.
Look at this.
Who's having a special? Who's having a special?
Oh, everything is special here.
Oh.
Woo, our food is
Oh.
here.
The food is winners.
Time to say the grace and grind.
The specials. That's mine.
No.
Yeah, everything is the specials. That's
No.
mine.
Go away, go away. I'm eating now.
What you guys eating today?
Hawaiian plate special. Pipi kaula, lomi aku, and aku bone.
Awesome. Wow. And what, the price is what? Reasonable or pretty expensive?
Very reasonable.
So look outside. I think my friends stay over there. Okay.
Oh, Brother Sam, thank you so much for finding that episode. You know, Uncle Iva's been gone from us for, I want to say maybe 6 years, I think.
6 years? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
7 years already.
Yeah.
But I tell you, like I said earlier, his music going to live on forever and ever and ever.
Yes.
And that Hello Hamele, woo, that song.
Beautiful. I've always
Beautiful
loved that song. And you know, speaking of Hello Hamele, I got a chance to sit down with a legendary guitarist that helped in that process of creating that beautiful song.
You did.
I
You
did.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he the lead guitarist for one of the biggest recording houses in Hawaii?
Yes.
I mean, it turned out hits
Yes,
in the
he was.
60s and the 70s. It turned
Yeah.
backyard singers and musicians into superstars right here
Yes.
in the island.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So now it's time for us to share with you a great segment. This is Brother Sam Talking Story with celebrated guitarist Jimmy Funai.
Aloha, everybody. Welcome to Vocal KINE GRINDZ. This is the companion to Local KINE GRINDZ, a little venture that Lena and I have started a few months back, and we're just so excited to share with you memories, things that we love, and things that other people have to share. Today, I have a very special guest. Like you people, if you're in Hawaiian music, if you're in the Hawaiian music circle, then you understand when I present to you the great Jimmy Funai. Uncle Jimmy, how are you today?
Good.
Oh man, I cannot express to you how excited I have chicken skin right now that I just get to sit and just talk story. We have a lot of friends in common. I don't know if you know, but I was friends with IVA KINIMAKA. And you were friends with IVA KINIMAKA. You got to work with him in the past.
Yes.
Uncle Iva was a good person to talk to, and he had a lot of great stories. And I was wondering, as we get this started, would you please tell me a little bit about Uncle Iva, please?
Well, I first got to work with him, and really, I knew him from the Cox Roost days, and I never
Cox
really got
Roost
to.
was a bar.
It was upstairs at the old International Marketplace.
So is that what became what was it, Steamboat Willie's?
I don't know. It might have. I remember when you walk in from Kalakaua, it was on
Yes.
the right-hand side.
Yes.
You got to walk up some stairs.
Yes.
Second story, and was open air. You could
Yeah,
see.
yeah. I think that's it.
But back in the day, it was known as the Cox Roost, and he played there for years with Harry Chang and Lee Mueller, those guys. So I knew him, but I never got to work with him.
Wow.
So he was then not at the Cox Roost anymore, but he was working on the Star of Honolulu.
Yes,
when they
yes,
first
yes.
started. Yeah.
Yes.
And he also had a catering business that he did for them.
Yes.
And so he had been out of the Waikiki scene for a number of years, and his musical director was Frank Deal, piano player.
Uh-huh.
And Iva decided he wanted to do an album. So he met with Frank Deal, myself, and Brian Robertshaw, because Frank recommended us as arrangers.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so I remember Iva telling all of us, he's saying, I've been out of the Waikiki scene for so long. He said, but I want a hit record, So I was assigned 2 songs. One was called Brighten Up Your Day, which was kind of a contemporary semi-rock. And then he asked me to do He Aloha Mele. And the tape he gave me was him in his bedroom strumming his guitar and singing.
Uh-huh.
And he said, I like it to be kind of like Gabby. And I thought to myself, gee, I don't know Gabby's material that well. I was in the contemporary vein that time, doing shows and whatever. And so Brighten Up Your Day was no problem. I did it kind of like your mama don't dance.
Oh,
And
like 12 bar blues, maybe.
no, it was like who's those guys? Loggins and Messina.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that kind of style. Anyway, so I got that done, no problem. One recording session, we had it over. And then we did all the others that Brian arranged the majority of the album. And then Frank Deal arranged a few songs. So it was the night before I had to record He Aloha Mele. And I went, what am I going to do with this song? I don't know. I've been listening it, over and over in the car and whatever. So I was in my living room, sitting on the floor, tuning my guitar.
Yeah.
And that's when the harmonics came out.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, this is the D, because the song was in D. So I did that, that harmonic intro.
Yep.
And then I saw,
Classic sound.
On the 5th fret. And then I found the G was on the 3rd fret. And then I never had the A, so I did one E minor on the 12th fret, the high strings, but with A bass. And so that became the arrangement. And I went in the next morning, 10 o'clock, Sounds of Hawaii, and we recorded He Aloha Mele, and pretty much finished the overdubs and everything. Background vocals, I think, was Bonnie Gearhart and Rachel Gonzalez. And then they put out the album. It was getting a lot of airplay. I think they were playing A-Aloha, A-L-O-H-A, his song.
Uh-huh.
And so the story was one day they were playing his songs on the radio and somebody called in, they had requests kind of.
Yeah.
So the guy said, hey, you can play up a song. And the DJ went, oh yeah, this song. And he go, no, the one right before that one. And so he said, okay. So he played He Aloha Mele. And they went like, whoever the DJ was went to the program director and said, hey, bro, listen to this song. So they went, oh, wow, cool. So then it got into heavy rotation. And so they started playing He Aloha Mele. And
was that on the original KCCN?
Yeah.
The one with Dookie D and, Mr. Duvachel and...
That one steel guitar player was one.
Iokea Bright.
Yeah, he the one I think was the GD. And who was the program director?
That time was I want to say it was what was his name? He was a Marine. He served in the Marines. Oh, I'm killing. I see his face. I just can't remember his name. Oh, my wife is gonna kill me.
Yeah. So anyway, was it Crash K Aloha?
Yes.
I think he was the program director. So they.
Oh, okay.
They were wanting to find one song because they was gonna try and find little girls who can dance hula, and they held a hula contest, and they picked He Aloha Mele. And so when 10-year-old girl won, and when it came time for the hokus, they had her dance and him sing the song.
Wow.
With the track, Hermono furnished them on track of us guys in the background.
Wow.
And Iva was so thrilled because he said, yeah, I got my hit. Every time he see me, I pick him in the middle of Costco. Hey, Jimmy, this the guy and write my song, arrange my song. But yeah, he wrote that song. Yeah.
Yep. He talked about that song a lot, about how it was his daughter that he wrote it for, and all the days that shucks. Great song. That's a great story. Thank you so much. You had mentioned Sounds of Hawaii. Now,
Yes.
I never got to record there, but I have heard a lot of stories from that place, especially because my cousins recorded their album there. But
Oh,
I'm related to Kilo and Kopono.
oh, wow.
Their grandmother and my grandmother are sisters.
I see.
So like they
They, did
recorded one of
Sunday
the
night.
albums there. It was Billy Cowie recorded there.
Yeah,
The Bakaha Sons of Nihao Live at Hanks was recorded there. I mean, a
really.
lot of really classic albums were recorded there. So did you know Herb Ono?
Oh, yeah. We were good friends. In fact, he took a liking to me when I did my first recording session. I think I was around 19.
Wow.
And then after that, he started recommending me to play guitar on a lot of the different recordings.
Uh-huh.
And as the years went by, he told me, "Oh yeah, if you know any good musicians for rhythm sections like that, bring
Wow.
them in." So
Like,
I
like
was,
back mainly backline or guys to play leads too?
well, we played everything, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we played rhythm and lead, but so we had like a couple rhythm sections. One was, of course, Brian Robertshaw.
Uh-huh.
He would bring in me and bass player, and sometimes it was this guy Jeff Henriksen, who was here for 20 years back in the 60s and to the 80s. And Brian would use John Rosner on drums, and he would play piano. And then sometimes I did some sessions, and I would have this guy named Al Barty, who we played together with John Rolls and
Oh, cool.
yeah, Jeff Henriksen and Clyde Pound, who played piano, was here for many years. So yeah, whenever a new guy would come in, I just tell her, "Hey, I found this guy. Yeah, bring him in." So yeah.
I have a question about the studios. So I watch a lot of documentaries about musicians, right? So I'm aware of how Muscle Shoals was powered by a specific number of bandmates, right? The West Coast sound, right? The wall of what was his
Wall of Sound
wall of sound, right? Was
and
was powered by the by
Wrecking
the
Crew,
records, yeah, the records.
the
And
Wrecking Crew is out there.
Detroit was the Funk Brothers. Out in Stax and in Nashville, it was another group. Like everybody had their own little sets of bands. So was the recordings that all came through that Herb Ono's did he use like a specific set of a band to produce that background set, or was it always different? Was it a different sound?
Well, a majority of the stuff, it was depending on what it was. It would be the rhythm section was basically Al Barty on drums, Jeff Henriksen on bass, Clyde Pound on piano, and me on guitar.
Did you guys ever put together a group amongst yourselves and lend yourself out to other orchestras, or did you guys just mainly work for Herb?
Um, we would do. There was like the other main recording studio was called Commercial Recording, run by Don Tyler, a former
Okay.
boy. He was a
Okay.
former boy, and he had his on Cook Street near Ala Moana. Now it's a building covered with graffiti, but that was one of the main studios.
So what's his name took over there? He ended up buying that studio. Charlie Lucella worked for him. I'm trying to remember his name. He ended up moving the business to Nevada. It's killing me. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
A Jewish fellow. He had a really what was his name? It's okay. But yeah, I recorded there. We recorded our second and a third album there in that studio.
Mhm.
But
In
but
commercial, the one they changed it from commercial. Yeah.
yeah, different from commercial. But I never ever got to. I always wanted to work with Herb Ono. Like that would be, to me, that would have been wonderful, to have that kind of power of mixing and mastering behind our music.
Yeah.
I always loved that whole old that sound. I'm not gonna say old, but it was a classic sound.
Yeah.
They had
That room had a special sound. It was a big room. When I first recorded there, it was like Herb, I think, was recording on like a 2-track, maybe even.
wow.
Then he moved up to a 4-track. Eventually, he got a 24-track. Um,
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
he bought a Rupert Neve console.
Wow.
Came all the way from England, and they sent the tech to set it up and do all that stuff.
Okay, so the original, the owner that I worked with, what is his name? He did all the work for ABC. I can't remember his name, but they have an old Neve that they moved up to their Manoa studio, and
Oh yeah,
it's the original Neve that he said that he purchased when he purchased the company. And
yeah.
yeah, man, that is
I
crazy.
forget.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Did he have a studio in what is
He had
that
he had one
nearest
up at
building?
he had one up at Kalakaua.
Yeah, yeah.
It burned. Remember the studio
Century,
burned?
Century something, yeah.
Yes, the studio burned, and then they had to move the studio elsewhere. But he had that one on Cook Street. He had another one up in my not in Manoa, in what's it?
New one.
I think it was Nuanu, Nuanu. Yes.
Yeah, I recorded there.
Yeah, his little the house kind of turns like sideways, and you go into the side room, and
Yeah,
yeah, we used to do a lot of our recordings there.
yeah. I forget his name, but when we
I
had
know
the
his name. It's just because I didn't think about. I haven't said his name in a while. I can't. It's not coming to me right now. But
and
he
when he
ended up
had
moving to Nevada.
when he had the studio in Century Center, his engineer was Milan Bertosi.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so that's where I first met Milan in the Century Center one.
You know what? Since Milan just passed away, and
Yeah.
there's a hole in Hawaiian music. Could you please just tell me a little bit about your relationship with Milan, please?
Yeah, we did. We went there for something. I forget. And a few years later, I was in a group with uh, his name was Rory Flores, good drummer, and Blaise Sison, who's in Vegas now, and Boy Katindi, amazing jazz piano player from the Philippines. And we were rehearsing for a show behind June Polistico, who was he was formerly of the SOS.
Oh, cool.
And so he was trying to get a show going. And so we recorded a couple songs in that studio in Century Center with Milan and those guys. And Milan was always he's a musician too, yeah. He played bass and guitar.
Yes.
So in fact, this gold Strat back here,
Uh-huh.
I'd been playing it with a group of friends. We call ourselves Paradox at the old Oasis
Oh, okay.
Sunday, Monday nights, and it was a jazz fusion group, funky jazz fusion. So bass player was Bruce Amata, drummer was Noel Okimoto, Alan Leong played keyboards, and David Choi played sax.
Wow. Like
It was
all masters.
Yeah, stellar lineup. And so those guys, I mean, Noel and Bruce and Alan, man, they can play loud, you know. And my guitar had the regular vintage pickups on it that it came with.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't quite get it up to par. So one day, this guy, guitar player, Chris Bovard, he was excellent. He played with like, what's her name? Anyway, he came in and he said, "Try my guitar." And he had a Strat, but he had the Eric Clapton pickup set up in it.
Okay.
And it has a mid boost, so it gets louder. So when I played it, oh, I was loud enough now. I could play along with that and be heard. Yeah. And so Chris said, "Oh yeah, I can set it up for you if you like." And Milan was in the audience that night.
Uh-huh.
And so the original Clapton setup had these pickups called Fender Lace sensors. So we started talking about those pickups, and Milan says, "Hey, I got lace sensors. I'll sell them to you." So he said, "Yeah, I give them to you, $20 each." So I bought the three pickups from him, and then Chris Bovard put it in and set it on. So to this day, I use that setup.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's amazing that you still have them.
Yeah, I like that setup.
I
I tried changing them, but I had to go back to this.
Yeah, like I have my preferences of what I like. There's for some instruments for the acoustic, I use certain Fishmans. For other instruments, we use different, and it's just, we have our differences. Like we use the Brett Averill for what is it, the 1070 for the acoustic recordings, and then the 1063 for electric recordings, and you have your preferences. Like all musicians do. Like you have your different setups that you want. I really love working with Milan. Like he is a giving um engineer. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I worked with a lot of cool engineers. But yeah, I'm sad that Milan passed away, and I've been thinking about him for the last couple of weeks
yeah,
now that he's gone.
yeah.
You said you had mentioned No Okimoro, and I used to go when I was a kid, and I say kid, but I was like 17, 18, 19. I used to go watch No play with Gabe Baltazar
Oh yeah.
at Rich Crandall and um and Barry Nesui.
Uh,
I used to go watch them in town, and so I have a question. Like, no, how long are you guys contemporaries of each other, or is he young? He's younger than you, right?
yeah, he's younger, maybe by about 10. No, yeah, maybe 10 years.
I'm
The
curious. I'm curious. Like, what were your musicians that you look up to at when you were young, with just getting started in the business?
Um, I didn't know a lot of the local musicians. I
Uh-huh.
got to do them later, but it was mostly influenced by mainland musicians. I started out, as a ventures guitar player, yeah,
Uh-huh.
playing that kind of music, and of course all the top 40 and whatever. But as I got into the business, my first professional gig was Rene Paulo, because
Wow.
and when I worked, and he just passed away recently, but because I worked with him, and his bass player was Ed Shunk, who was this musical master, played bass, trombone, played piano, vibes, everything. Had his own big band he arranged for the whole thing. And because I worked with them, some of the older guys started taking notice. Who's this kid playing with Rene? I was only 20. And you know how you got to learn standards. You have to play all these different
Yes.
cocktail
Yes.
parties and stuff.
Yeah.
So when I went with him on my first road trip was to Lake Tahoe, and we played in Palo Alto and Seattle. Well, one of the gigs in Lake Tahoe was we did a show in the South Shore, but when we went North Shore, we just played tunes. We started at we played from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. the next morning.
Wow.
And all we did was hour on, hour off. And every hour we played, Rene would just call tunes. So he'd shout out a standard, and I knew some of them, but so Ed Shunk would stand next to me and plays bass and go C, C-7, D7. He calling out the chords to me. So within that gig was 1 month, and during that month I learned the whole repertoire of standards that I needed.
Wow.
If I had to stay at home and learn all those songs, it would take me forever. So by the time I came back, I knew all these tunes, and then I started getting calls from the older guys. One was Henry Allen, who just passed away, and he was an amazing jazz guitar player and steel guitar player, and vocalist. In fact, he got me into the Buddy Full group, and that was a former
Brother.
Invitations. They were the Invitations, and you Google them and listen to some of the music. It's outstanding. So I got to play with him, Sonny Kamaka, and John Costello, three of the original Invitations, along with
Wow.
Henry Allen, a drummer named Joe Shaw, who's still active on the mainland. And
Wow.
and we were an odd group because Buddy was always forward thinking. He
Yes.
he had
Yes.
three guitar players in his band. That was it. Three guitar players and a bass. And we played like harmony guitars.
But it seemed to me like his focus on a lot of his music was the voices.
Yeah, it was,
That
yeah,
wonderful four-part harmony. Yeah, they were always floating around and doing the scats while the music was just in the background, providing
yeah,
a nice, comfortable like foundation for everything.
yeah,
My
and
favorite song is Malia Matita.
yeah,
I that song I dance to it. I just do the hula dance
yeah.
with me. I love that song.
See,
You know,
Buddy was a Latin percussionist, and he went to LA and spent some time, and he learned from all the Chicano guys over there.
wow.
He would show us all the different grooves and stuff to do, but the vocals were arranged by Sonny Kamaka.
Wow.
Guitar, he plays guitar and he go, and he had this mean stutter, but when he sang, he was like Meltilus, yeah, and then no stuttering, you know. So he would sit there and he go, you sing this note, da, 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 da. And then he just arranged 4 and 5 part harmonies. Just he had the gift, you know. I learned a lot.
Was he related to Sam Kamaka,
I
the
don't know.
ukulele maker?
I don't know, but he was a rascal guy.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, because of all of that and working with Renee, then Buddy, and so forth, I started getting calls. And you talk about Noel, I was doing a cocktail gig with
Uh-huh.
Gabe, and
You got to work with Gabe too?
oh, lots.
That's
And I worked with,
that's
yeah,
me.
and I worked with Gabe, and then and a bass player, and we're waiting for the drummer. And I go, "Who's the drummer?" So in walks George Okimoto, who's an old-time drummer. Yeah, the father, Noel's father. Like, oh, George, you playing? No, he's saying my son will play. So Noel came in and he was 12 years old. Sat down,
Wow.
played with us. He knew all the grooves,
Oh,
all
he
the
had chops even back then. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. He was not quite as developed as now, but you know, he could play. And he had, you know, he stayed with us and
Wow.
laid it down.
That's
Laid-
amazing. I got started at in brass in seventh grade, and I played French horn to eighth grade. Then I went mellophone, and then when I went to college, I ended up learning all the B flats, the valve
Mm,
trombone, baritone, all that. And so like I really wanted to get better. So they would always say, "Well, go listen to guys in town." I would always ask because Alan Akaka was my teacher.
oh,
He taught me theory, and Mr. Payton taught me you know the skills at Kahuku. And but they would always say, "Go to town, go listen to so and so, go listen to so and so." So I used to go. I used to go to town and watch, you know, all the old players play. I used to go and listen to Cajon Lake Trio at the region. I used to go there. There were Gabe Baltazar, them were in town, so I go listen to them. I just always wanted to be around music when I was a kid. I just wanted to soak it up. I wanted to understand it better. I didn't know I was gonna be a musician. I was planning to be a cook, you know.
mm,
But to me, like that was the best way for me to go and to be watch Gabe, man. He's amazing. He passed
yeah,
away, right?
yeah. Not that long ago.
I know Scott, but I don't know. I never did ask him. I haven't seen them. A lot of people in a long while. And I haven't. I've been shut off. I'm a what do you call it? A hermit. I'm a self-imposed hermit, so I'm stuck in my room. But I don't really know what's going on in today. You know, the last 10 years I've been secluded. But
You know,
that's amazing.
you mentioned Mr. Payton. What was his first name?
What was Mr. Payton's first name? Uh
I forgot it too.
I'm just
But
imagining his glasses and his stern way, like you either do it or you're a donkey.
you know,
Don't be a donkey, do it.
he was a terrific drummer,
Yes, he was.
and
He
I
played for the
first,
Mop Tops.
yeah, he and his brother Ron came from Hilo with Mike Sakamoto, who became eventually the band teacher up the Heights, yeah, in
Wow.
Pro City,
Wow.
and he became eventually Royal Hawaiian Band conductor, and another guitar player, and they came from Hilo as the Mop Tops.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that time, you know, we were all playing in clubs around town, and got to know them, hung out with them. And Mike, when he went to UH in our first year, we went same time, and he says, "Hey, come join the band." I said, "I don't play an instrument." he says, yeah, but you can play drums. I said, yeah. He says, so come sign up. So I went and I played the tom toms, you know, in the band. We did marching band and that kind of stuff. But you know, he was a real fun loving guy
I
back in
remember
those.
his first name. Why can't I remember his Michael?
Mike
Michael
Payton.
Payton.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Uh, I wish I had spent more time with Mr. Payton. What's really cool is that he and I and Mr. Akaka have kept in touch over the years. And so they when they were at Kamehameha doing some of the things with the music program, we would always go over and we would help them with their lectures and stuff. Or they would have us come and lecture. And I don't know why. There's so many people more qualified than me, but I really appreciate the ability to go in and share what I've learned, especially from them.
Yeah.
I have a question. So earlier you had mentioned Billy Cowie, and I grew up around listening to Billy Cowie and what was his group?
Country, Country Comfort.
Country Comfort. Country Comfort.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain not so good, but I have a lot of passion. Can you tell me about Billy Cowie? And I have I kind of married into Waymanalo family, and he's like a legend to them. And I know very little about him other than his music. I know very little about him.
I first met him and the group Country Comfort because I did their second album. I don't know how many they had. I think it was second or third. Anyway, their producer, besides Tom Moffat, was a man named Irv Peninsky, and Irv was a former mainland record distributor, and he moved here, and he had the labels WEA, Warner Electra Asylum, and he also had a hand in producing Country Comfort. And so the second album they made, Herb Onos suggested that I go and supplement them. So I played some rhythm guitar with them, and that's how I got to know Billy. And then when Billy went on his own, Herb recommended Brian Robert Shaw, and Brian and Irv Peninsky had worked together a lot, Carol Kine and all these other people. And so they called a recording session for Billy, and Billy, we did that, you know, his solo album, and I played all the guitars on that. And after it came out, it was well received because he had like Mr. Reggae, I Feel Music, I Hear Music, and he had I forget that this is one up-tempo song that was popular. But anyway, there were a number of cuts off of that album that made, you know, an impression. And then so we did a live concert at the Blaisdell with the full-on horn section and everything. And that was you know, and then later on he got the gig at the Territorial Tavern, which is down
Yep, I remember.
And so
the Boogie Boogie used to play there.
Yeah. So this was several years later, but he would come and we would play there with him. And he was a funny guy, Billy. He was just down home, low-key guy, you know. And one night we're waiting for him and he's not there. So about maybe half hour later, he comes in carrying his guitar in the case. He goes, "Oh yeah, the bus. I tried because he used to catch bus from Waimanalo to come to the gig." Said the bus driver never let me on the bus because I had my guitar case, so I had to wait for another bus, you know. But he came in and finally we did it. But he was a recovering heroin addict, and he was on methadone to try to, you know, bring him down.
Yeah, try to, yep.
You know, but the problem was all his old cronies would come in and try to turn him on.
Yeah.
And the doctor told him, you know what, if you start doing drugs again, you're going to die. And sure enough, he started to fall into that again. And then I heard he had a brain hemorrhage or something.
Wow.
Okay, but yeah, cool guy. He was such a nice guy, such a sweetheart.
Yeah, I hear nothing but good stories from people that knew him, and I'm always curious about all the different things that that he did, and there's no YouTube or record that I can go to and look at and read about him. So whenever I get a chance to speak with someone like yourself, it's always a great opportunity for me to like open up my mind and listen. And I have one more question. I know that the time is getting a little bit long, and I just have so many questions, but I want to ask one more question. Oh, actually, two more questions. The first question is, who was Robert Shaw, and
Oh,
why was he so influential in the Hawaiian music industry?
Brian Robert Shaw. His last name is Robert Shaw, one word. Yeah.
Oh,
First name
okay.
is, his first name is Brian.
Brian
Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw. Got it. Got it.
And he came from England by way of Hong Kong. So when he was in England, he was working for a company that transcribed popular records into arrangements for bands.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like, for example, like a big band needed a big band arrangement of some kind of song, and he would transcribe it, and then he would write out the arrangement for the band.
Got it.
That was his job. And then he got hired by a kind of a sort of a rock band and to go play in Hong Kong. So he went. At that time, he was playing trombone and keyboards. And then they came to Hawaii and stayed here playing for a while. And then he decided, oh, he want to stay. So he stayed in Hawaii. And he somehow met Herb Peninsky. And I think Herb at the time was, I may not be correct on this, but I think Herb was managing Carol Kai. And Carol Kai
Wow.
was at the old Garden Bar in the Hilton.
Wow.
And Brian was the musical director. And they had like a, regular rhythm section. Brian played keyboards and guitar, bass, and drums, and Carol and Sonia Mendez and some others. And they had three horns, trumpet, tenor, and Brian played trombone. And he would arrange all of that for a number of years. In fact, I just saw recently they did a Honolulu Marathon tribute to Carol Kai, and there's a photo of Brian in his young days with Sonia Mendez and Carol. And so that's how Brian started, because he was with Herb Peninsky, who did a lot of local recordings.
Uh-huh.
He started to arrange. And the first time I met Brian was a session we did for the Surfers. It was
Uncle El Nalue.
Yeah, it was an album called Shells.
Yes,
and,
I remember it. I've listened to it many times.
Yeah, so we did. That's the first time I met Brian, and he took a liking to me, and so from then he started calling me for sessions. And then we worked together on the John Roll show at the Monarch Room in the Royal Hawaiian.
Oh.
Yeah. So Brian was he did, like I said, he did Billy. He did I think one of Mackey's albums. He did the strings. He could write for anybody. He could write for a symphony. And he did Carol Kai's album. Forget, he did a bunch of them, but he was in demand, so therefore he was one of the guys behind the scenes. He also, one of our, if you listen to Crush, there's that song, Who Do You Love, that Bucci Canencia sings, but the percussion, congas, is, and that guy was used a lot by Brian and me.
Okay.
His name is Peter Hernandez. He's Bruno's father.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And he played percussion here for many, many years. So he done a lot.
Did you know Johnny as well?
John Valentine.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
okay.
In fact, Brian had him playing with him at the Hano Hano room. And when John had to take off, I would come in. Then I became a sort of a regular member up there. But yeah, I know John way a long time.
Oh, right on, man. I was just gonna end the interview, but please tell me a Johnny Valentine story. Please.
Yeah, we worked together. I think the most because usually guitar players don't work together,
Uh-huh.
but Brian would take off one night on the week, and Johnny would run the band because it was always Brian, a female singer, and John Valentine,
Uh-huh.
and we had like Brian had three former Miss Hawaii's: Jennifer Hara, Erica Kaufman, and shucks, I forget the other one. But he had a lot of, but John would run the off night. And so Brian would have me go in with John
Yes.
and we back the girl singer.
Yes.
And so that's how I got to know him pretty well. And we got, he just posted a video of him and his son singing Hallelujah country style.
Oh,
like
cool.
Dung jing, dung jing,
Yep.
Check a look that video out.
Who did Hallelujah? What was it? The writer was he
David,
the
David
Great
Foster.
American Songbook.
David Foster.
Hallelujah was David Foster.
Anyway, but John and I, we would back up this one singer named Jennifer Barber. And a lot of the songs we would do, we turn them.
I know Jennifer Barber. Oh, I don't know her personally, but I know who she is.
Yeah, and we turn it into a country.
That's awesome.
Cracking up, But then John produced a series of albums called The Guitars of Hawaii. So he had me on the first one. I was in the first 3 volumes.
Oh, yes.
John's,
I know of this album. This is the Johnny Valentine Presents. Yes, I remember that.
And his idea for that was to showcase guys who've been in the industry, guitar players, that had never had their own recording.
Oh, okay.
Because we were always backing up people.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got to play a couple of songs on those.
Did you ever? Sorry, go ahead.
One of those albums had Mackie Fury playing an instrumental guitar solo.
Oh, okay.
Really good. Mackie was an excellent guitar player.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was like mean guitar. I mean, he could play like lead solos and everything.
Yeah.
On his first album,
yeah,
really shined. It was good. I knew Mackie too from when he was a high school boy. He used to hang out at Eddie Suzuki's pro guitar shop on Wailea Avenue, where Party Pizzazz is now.
Did you know all of Kalapana or just Mackie?
I knew Mackie mostly. Yeah, that's all. But he was just this quiet young boy, and then we did some gigs with Eddie Suzuki, and I remember him just kind of standing in the dark and playing.
Yeah, just not like he shined when he sang.
Yeah,
he shined when he played, and then the rest of the time he just like he was just a ninja. Yeah, his nephew was the same way.
I got to interview him a few months before he died.
Really?
Yeah, so I was doing a piece for a sort of a small time newspaper kind of a thing, but and so I went to his house, and I have about 3 full hour-and-a-half cassette tapes of the interview I did with him.
And have you released this on YouTube or any?
I gotta go digitize it. I want to go.
If you need help, let me know. I can always walk you through the process. There's so many opportunities to do that now. There's so many opportunities to do that now. I have one more question before we finish up. What school did you graduate from? And what year?
St. Louis High School.
Really? Wow. Wow. Our arch enemy. Not joking.
Why? What school you went?
I went Kahuku.
Oh boy.
What a race. Red Raider for life.
Oh, that's what you meant.
But I was in 87. Sassy.
Yeah, it was
Go ahead.
No, St. Louis, all boys school, and all my friends. I grew up in Lower Palolo Valley on College Street, and all my friends went Kaimaki, and all the girls went Kaimaki, and St. Louis all boys those days, and long sleeve shirt and tie, and I mean,
My
Dress.
uncle Rennie Sark and my all the Sark cousins, they all went to St. Louis. Yeah.
I at the time I just wanted out. I wanted to go Kaimaki, have fun.
Yep.
But looking back, it was a college prep school, and I did get a good education. We had to study Latin and all that stuff.
Yep. Yep. Because Catholic it's a Catholic school, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I wasn't Catholic, so but I just my father used to be the baseball coach there for some 20 years.
Uh-huh.
And he was like a major. A lot of his students became coaches. Les Murakami was one of them.
Wow. What
So-
was your father's name? But by the way.
Francis Funai. He was
Wow.
he
Wow.
was the coach. He was like the baseball
Yeah.
guru.
Yep.
And he tried to get me to play. I played all the way from 10 years old to senior year. But yeah, I'm glad he retired when I started going to St. Louis, so I didn't have to play for him. Yeah,
That's awkward. No, it is.
that would have been
That
awkward.
is massively awkward. When I went to Kauku, my father was the student was the parent teacher president, and that's just like weird because like I would just get ribbed for it all the time because my dad would write all these letters to the student body and he would send out, hey, this is what we're doing, we're having this activity, and he goes, hey Sam, are you gonna be out that blah blah blah?
I know. No.
This has
Yeah, in
been
fact,
okay.
I was the youngest of the three sons, and baseball. I was dubbed as Coach Funai's last hope.
That's
make-
awesome. But did you guys ever win states?
What?
Did you guys ever win states in baseball?
No, we just played here.
Good
But,
for you,
I
though.
was the last hope to make the major leagues. Yeah.
Oh,
know,
no worries. You
we-
are the major leagues of music in Hawaii. No, I'm serious. Like, you're not one of those names that everybody talks about in the main public, but amongst the musician circle, Uncle, you are a treasure. I don't know if you realize that or not, but you have made some serious memories. And if people really knew all the things that you did, like they would just be amazed and they would sing your praises because to me, you are one of the local legends that I look up to as a kid. So I really appreciate you coming and hanging out with me today. Is there anything that you want to wish people from Hawaii or your family or anything you want to say to anybody before we close?
No, just if you're in the music biz, keep it up. You never know. It's the opportunities now are not like back in the day when I started. But try and maybe improve in your, like Sam said, he studied theory and that kind of stuff. Learn harmony, learn your scales and chords. It's all the foundation you need for the music people. Sometimes I think self-taught is good if you have the talent, but if you want to develop that talent, learn about the workings of music through studying it. Yeah,
that's true. One of the teachers that I learned from, his name was Larry Reese. He was from the group Kahalia, and he said that you need talent. You want to be great. You need talent. You need the desire to move forward, and you need someone to show you how to focus that talent. And I've been fortunate enough that every time when I need to learn something, I always have somebody in my area of effect that I can reach out and learn a little bit of this and that and study under, wherever I've been in my life. So that's a great message. Thank you very, very much. And with that, we're gonna toss back to Lena Girl. You guys, mahalo for joining us again, Uncle Jimmy. I appreciate it. Once again, the legend, the myth, the man, Jimmy Funai. Mahalo.
hey, thanks.
Brother Sam, you lucky dog. You got a chance to hang out with a musical legend. Oh
That's
my
right.
goodness.
Chicken
Very
skin
big
moment.
mahalo. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. You know, and very big mahalo to Jimmy Funai for joining us and talking story. I just have a bone to pick with you, Brother Sam.
What?
How is it possible that you're talking to one of the greatest guitarists
Uh-huh.
of the past generation?
Uh-huh.
He's sitting in his living room with easily 4 or 5 guitars. I could see it in the camera shot. And not once did you ask him to play a song. What is wrong with you? If I saw him sitting there, I'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Funai, take it away, brother.
Lena
Like,
girl,
what?
Lena girl, you
Ah,
didn't have to, you didn't have to. You know why? You
why?
know why? Because
Why?
if you want to listen to his music, go listen to Billy Cowie. Go
Oh,
listen to
yeah.
Country Comfort. Go listen to The Fabulous Crush.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
There's a
But
lot of
still,
opportunities to go check out his music
he
out
had his guitars right there. Anyway, but I am so grateful that you got a chance to connect with him and reintroduce him to a brand new generation who probably doesn't know who Jimmy Funai is, but
Yeah.
they're probably memorizing all of his guitar licks when they stay in class,
Yep.
right? Or watching YouTube videos. Oh, I wonder how's it. And that's all him. Unreal. So very big mahalo to Jimmy Funai. Also, mahalo nui to the Kinimaka Ohana for letting us relive our sweet memories with Uncle Iva at
Oh, yeah.
Iva's place. And ahui ho, Uncle, until we can meet again. Hugs and honies and play some good music.
Oh, yeah.
You will be in our thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
Family and friends, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And we are excited for upcoming episodes of Vocal Kind Grinds and sharing with you our classic episodes of Local Kind Grinds. If you have any thoughts and comments and feedback, we would love to hear it. If there is a Local Kind Grind show that was your favorite, a classic that you need us to dig out of the archives and blow the dust off the tape, we want to do that for you, and then we can catch up with the owners and the movers and the shakers from that particular video
Oh,
in
yeah.
this time now.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so we'll do that for you. So make sure you're hitting us up on our socials, on Instagram at Local Kind Grinds Hawaii. You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, at our own personal channels as well. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. We're like cockroaches. Everywhere.
Until next time, remember, I'm Brother Sam,
I'm Lena Girl.
and this is Vocal Kind Grinds. Oh, you know what time it is, Lena girl?
It is now. Wait. It is what I'm looking at. 6:47 right now.
That's funny because my watch says it's time for you to go upstairs and make me some food, woman.
You think you